guys coming off a very, very busy week last week with 3 games on the road. Nice to kind of settle in, let our guys settle in with no games during a very challenging time with finals. It's always a little bit of chaos from the standpoint of scheduling, moving practices around, guys having to leave early, but that's all part of it. But it was nice to be here. I thought we had a really good week on the road. A little disappointing, obviously, the Tennessee loss, but a lot to learn from that. Give Tennessee credit. It's hard to go on the road and be the top 10 team in their building. But I thought we did some positive things. Obviously, now we get Colgate, who's exceptional. They're very, very big. They're an NCAA tournament team. They're extremely well coached. They're different. This will be a Big Ten prep type team in terms of the physicality, the size, 6'11", 6'10", the 5 and the 4. They're one of the top teams in America in post-ups. And all that being said, they've got an elite point guard. Point guard is great mid-range, shoots a ton of floaters. They've got one of the best three-point shooters in America to go alongside him. So this is a very, very good basketball team that will play very, very well beyond.
Is this week between games similar in intensity and practices like it was leading up to Rutgers?
Yes and no. You also have to understand as a coach, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of a mental fatigue maybe that goes along with finals. We haven't been out here forever. Maybe gone as long. I thought we had very good days on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was just kind of an individual day. We touched on some things then. We were off Thursday. Now we're back in the game prep and stuff. We were very solid on that end of things. So just a little different mindset when you're dealing with finals but it's been good.
Kind of a 9-game sample size with Ty primarily at point. What have you seen from him? You talked about maybe a conversation with Chester about being more vocal. How have you seen him step into that role?
Yeah, I think it's a really hard position to play. It's your quarterback. You can't just know what you do. You have to know what everybody else does. You have to know who zigs and who zags, so to speak. And he's done very, very well. He's been exceptional on the defensive side. That's been my biggest concern, to be very honest, was making sure that there was comfort there. He's been really, really good. His size, his length, his athleticism, his strength, getting over ball screens has been very good. He's playing really unselfish. He's making a lot of the right reads, so I've been very, very comfortable with him. And again, that's a tribute to him and how hard he's working.
Minutes for games have been kind of up and down. Has that been about matchups, or you want to see more from him?
Oh, it's almost all matchups. It's been matchups. It's been trying to win a game in whatever presents itself. They were the other night against Tennessee. They're in drop coverages, and you can exploit that with Coleman and his hops and the zooms and the dribble handoffs. Probably should have played it a little more, to be honest, in some other areas. But again, just kind of the way the game unfolded. I don't go into it with the mindset of this or that. I just kind of see what the opponent's going to do and how that's going to work. And Dane's a terrific player, and he's going to be very, very valuable as we move on.
Ty said that Chester kind of talked to him a couple days ago about being more of a leader. Just how does he go about that on a team that's got a bunch of 22 to 24-year-olds?
Yeah, the position allows that. It doesn't matter if you're you're a freshman, sophomore, or you're a senior. Everybody's going to lead differently. His job is to know what people do and get them in positions to operate and be successful. That's where he can lead. His is coming more from a vocal standpoint of relaying coaches' messages and relaying execution things, and that's where he's continuing to grow, and he's had a great week at it. So where Chester played the position, he understands the mental side of being vocal and leading from that spot. It's not just the physical, and we feel great about what he's doing physically. Now it's just starting to add that last piece, which is communicating a little better.
Like I remember in past years, you talked about how much you relish the opportunities for these long practice weeks to kind of mold your team. Like, what is it that you try to accomplish when you have so many days without a game?
Yeah, they're us days. We don't worry about an opponent. We worry about the things that you go back over a 3 or 4 game stretch and you dig deep into your analytics. Okay, this is what we're not doing. This is where we're struggling. This is what we've got to clean up. Screening angles, little things that you may miss. We've spent a ton of time talking and working on becoming a better rebounding team and a more consistent rebounding team. Those are all things that you can really spend a good amount of time on when you have long breaks, and you don't ever want to forget about them. When you get into game prep, but we spent a ton of time today on and this week on things that we needed to clean up, and that's the beauty of these long breaks.
We talk a lot about role identification. When you've got a team with this kind of experience, does that come together quicker, easily, or?
No, I don't think so. I think some of it happens organically. I think some of it is game to game. I think role identification. I want more consistent play out of our bench. I thought Luke was great the other night at Tennessee. He had 7 rebounds, but he had 6.5. I want to make sure we've got, we're getting just and consistent play. We're gaining that there's more productivity. It's not just as much based on what the opponent does, but it becomes more about what we do. I've coached a little more early based on opponent matchups and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to get back to, okay, stop us. This is what we're doing. But we've got to become really consistent in that role identification, coming off the bench, being productive. You guys know I value that more than I value who starts. It's great to see Quincy back shooting the basketball. It's great to see, Luke and his performance. It's and what he's done shooting it. Consistent play from Coleman. And it's just, we're getting there. We're not there yet. That's why I keep telling you, I love Amani, I love Draven, what those guys can do from a talent standpoint. It's just getting everybody comfortable, and I value our bench so much. It's one of the areas that we're continuing to grow.
I guess looking for that consistency, do you feel like the team maybe knows what's being asked of them, like they know what that role is?
I think so.
Like?
I think so. I mean, I think we're one of the few teams in college basketball that's ranked really high. I don't know our numbers. I don't know, offensively and defensively. I think our efficiency's pretty good on both ends. But there's a reason we got to defend and rebound. And the first half of Tennessee was great. We shot 34% we led. But we were great on the glass. We get out rebounded the second half, we lose. And this team understanding what winning is and what leads to winning will help them understand their own roles individually. And we got to look at it from the team side first, and then the individual stuff will fall into place in terms of role identification. But if we defend and rebound, I like what this team's abilities are to win a basketball game, and that's always been the focus, and our guys are starting to understand that.
That offensive efficiency seems like it's improving. We talked about it before, but how do you get to that point really without a traditional backcourt, traditional type of point guard?
Yeah, that's for you guys to worry about. I don't. It's matchups. It's a mismatch. We've had a lot of success with, I go back into the Rutgers and the Florida Atlantic games, and just in size and posting posting different guys. You know, getting Marcus downhill, getting Terrence downhill, getting Ty downhill. We had Quincy in post-ups. It's a non-conventional way by the traditional power forward center standards, point guard, where we label everybody. But you can become really efficient when you don't turn the ball over. You get the ball close to the rim, and you have an opportunity to score. And, you know, the closer you are to the basket, the better chance you have to score. I'd like to see our free throw attempts go up. I'd like to see our offensive rebounding improve. But those are all creating matchups based on our size and our ability to take advantage of some of those matchups.
Saw the social media video with Terrence's day in the life deal there. How unique is what he does in his approach?
I don't think it's unique to greatness. I think it's unique to people understanding how hard it is to be great. There's a reason he's number 2 in KenPom and National Player of the Year stuff, or he was, I don't know what he is now, but he was. There's a reason that happens. You don't do that by accident. Yes, great genetics, he's gifted, but now you start putting the hard work in. There's no shortcuts to success. Terrence has bought into that completely. And, you know, how many college kids get up at 4:40 every morning, come in and work out? Not many. And so there's a different level of approach to him and desire and wanting to be great. And man, I've got so much respect for that. He's a sponge. He listens. He always wants to learn. He wants to be coached. He wants to be pushed. He wants things demanded of him. And now he's confident. And the good things happen to those who work hard. There's a reason he's in the place he's at.